Today, we're going to talk about the double check. The double check in chess. Fascinating. So here's some information. In chess, the double check occurs when two of your pieces simultaneously attack the opponent's king, forcing the king to move, as it's impossible for your opponent to block or capture both attacking pieces in one move. All right, now the common scenario is double checks often involve a discovered check where one piece moves to deliver a check, revealing another attacking piece that was previously blocked. So we're going to look at those examples. Those are the most common. And then later we're going to look at a rare double check that occurs through en passant. Okay, so now here's our first example. Black to move, mate in one. You try to figure it out where I've already told you it's going to be a double check, and it's going to be mate in one, black to move. Okay, so pause the screen, see if you can figure it out. And now I'm going to reveal the solution. The solution is knight f3. Knight f3. So look what happened. By moving from there to there, it revealed the hidden check from this rook here. But the knight is also putting the king in check. So when the knight comes in to put the king in check, the queen, you'd say, well, the queen can just take that knight. Yes, it stops the check from the knight, but that taking the knight doesn't stop the check from the rook. And if you say, well, this bishop, I can move the bishop here, and it stops the check from the rook. Yes, that's true, but moving the bishop here doesn't stop the check from the knight. So the only response to a double check is the king has to move. Okay, and where can the king go? Well, he can't go here because of the rook. He can't stay where he is because of the knight, and he can't go here or here because of the queen. So that would be checkmate in one. Let's go to the next example. All right, this is also mate in one, white to move. Pause the screen and look at it and see if you can find the answer. Again, it's going to be a double check. And we know that the most common form of double check involves a discovered check where one piece moves to deliver a check, revealing another attacking piece that was previously blocked. Okay, so now I'm going to give you the answer. If you don't want to hear it right now, pause the screen. Otherwise, the answer is knight f5, mate. Right there. See the check from the bishop and the check from the knight. And as we know with double checks, the only response is the king has to move. And in this case, the king can't go here because of the knight. He can't go here because of the bishop. And he can't go here because of this bishop. Okay, that was mate in one. Let's do another mate in one example. All right, this is white to move, another double check. Pause the screen and see if you can figure it out yourself. Otherwise, I'm going to give the answer now. The answer is knight h6, mate. So the knight moves here, revealing the hidden check by the queen. But it's also a check from the knight. So just trying to block, let's say, black is going to use the knight to block the queen's check. Yes, but it doesn't stop the knight check. And if this queen tried to block the queen check, it doesn't stop the knight check. And if this pawn decides to take the knight, yes, it stops the knight check, but it doesn't stop the queen check. The only response for white is for the king to move, and the king can't go here or here because of this rook. So once again, the double check in display. Let's go to a couple of mate in two examples, and then I'm going to show you a rare form of the double check. Okay, now here's a mate in 2, and it is white to move, and it looks like white's in check right now. Your job is to find the double check, and it's a mate in 2 and white to move. Okay, so pause the screen and see if you can figure it out. Otherwise, here comes the first move. It's going to be knight f7 check. Knight comes in, puts the king in check, revealing the hidden check from the queen. And here's the check from the knight. So, as we've discussed already, the only response is the king has to move. But where can the king go? Now in this case, he can't go here, but he can go here. Okay, so remember this is a mate in 2, so he's going to go there. Now it's white to move, mate in 1. What's the next move? Again, pause the screen if you want to check it out. Otherwise, the solution is queen g7 mate. Now how is it that the king doesn't just take the queen? Well, the queen is protected by this bishop. Okay, see this bishop can go all the way right there. So that would be checkmate, mate in 2. All right, last example with the double check on a mate in 2. It's going to be black to move. It's going to be a double check. So pause the screen if you want to try to figure it out. Otherwise, I'm going to give you the first move right now. And that's going to be knight to e2 check. All right. Now it reveals the hidden check from the bishop. So it's a double check. So trying to stop either one of these does not stop both. Therefore, the response is the king has to move. And he can't go there. He can't stay there. He can't go here because of this knight. So his only move is there. And let's move him there. So he goes there. Now it's black to move, mate in 1. If you want to pause it, pause it. Otherwise, I'm going to give you the final move that ends in checkmate, and that is knight takes g3 mate. Checkmate. See, now the king can't go here because of this knight. He can't go here because of the bishop, and he can't stay where he is because the knight just took his pawn and is now attacking that square that he's on. So that would be checkmate. Okay, final example, and this is a rare form of the double check. This is the one where a double check occurs through an en passant capture, where a pawn capture reveals 2 checks. Okay, so what happened in this game was it was black to move, and black moved his pawn up right there. Maybe he was thinking block the check from the bishop. But white can capture en passant here. So that's exactly what he did, which of course eliminates this pawn, which reveals this check and this check. So it's a double check. Now black, the only way to respond to that is the king has to move. But look, he can't go here, he can't go here, he can't take this pawn because the queen is protecting it. He can't go here because the knight is attacking that square, and he can't go here because again the rook is there. So that is an example of a double check through the en passant. Pawn comes up, en passant capture, and the king can't go anywhere, and that's checkmate. All right, well that was a good video on the double check, and I hope that you are able to employ that in your chess games from now on. Okay, thank you for watching.